There's a Batman and circuit girl.
The center screws on each one of those.
Yeah.
I wonder if you might be better served actually attaching to that, because if you were to attach the whammy bar to either end, you might actually have a different amount of rotation over the whole thing. You know, if you move it from the center, it'll move more evenly. That might be something to think about when you do it.
You know, that brings up another thing about physics that I've been wondering about. Okay, yeah, I could attach it near the center screw, but of course,
right. Let's say wait, this is weird. Okay, let's say this is your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go on one end of it like this, it's conceivable that when you rotate based off of this, you might get some tilt. Like, you might not get a true tilt. You might get a little off kilter. But if you go with this one, and I'm not trying to flip you off, I'm just saying, if you go with the center one, it has a better chance of moving the whole thing equally. That's just something that's my 2 cents.
You are totally right. One thing about your 2 cents is it probably doesn't matter, because nobody ever listened to a whammy bar and said, wow, that's whammying the low strings more than the high strings. And it's going to have a different effect on the low strings and the high strings, and I don't know anybody whose ear can pick it up. But let's assume that was an issue. Whammy bars are usually on one side, as Zool says. They're usually on one side or the other of the bridge, but they're usually attached fairly solidly in a way that rotates the whole thing. Can you get Cousin Ernie?
Yes.
Thanks. But my question, it still raises a question. If I attach this in the middle, it would get in the way of my strumming. Okay? But if I attach it in the middle and then rolled it down or up a little bit and then came forward, then to some extent, see, this is where I have trouble with the physics of it. If everything is perfectly...
You can't go into the bars. Whatever you do has to be on the outside.
Yeah. I mean, if everything is perfectly rock solid, I do believe it acts as though it was fastened at the center. All right, this is Cousin Ernie, 58, Gretsch White Falcon with a broken string. And the Bigsby, here, this is a real good, famous kind of whammy bar. And this rotates a little, a dowel that's drilled through.
Oh, so it reduces or increases tension on the strings?
Uh-huh. Each string is attached right at the top, pretty much. So it's off-center. And so when you push down on it, it feeds a little bit more string toward the headstock.
Okay.
And you got push and you got pull. And it gets you that great sound. And then also to keep the strings in tune, you got your rollers on your bridge. So these guys, oh, here, I've got a busted string so I can really show you well. These guys roll.
Okay.
And that's kind of a standard construction. This doesn't have the advantage of being very adjustable as far as up and down on the bridge. You want a lot of up and down adjustment in order to get your strings to be in tune when you fret them on different frets. And I will continue with that thought if you want to show a quick hack while I go get my next guitar.
I don't know. On the double neck guitar you had, those bottom portions that you were rotating, I mean, are those meant to rotate or do they just happen to rotate?
They just happen to rotate.
Okay, so that's not going to like eventually like strip out the screws, is it? I'm just
I'm going with nah. And if it does, awesome.